good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys. All right, join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Middle ground is a social experiment that brings humans with opposing beliefs together. These discussions may contain viewpoints that are the result of misinformation. Remember to seek out experts and to be critical of your own biases while forming an opinion. Please see the humanity in each participant, and as always, we encourage empathy.
Disclaimer. We need a disclaimer for the channel.
I heard that.
So when you say we're just redefining what being a man is, you have to understand you're redefining a fabric in society that has kept the human race and got it to where it is today.
But do you see the state of our world today? It's not perfect, and it's been led by men like throughout all of history, and look where it's gone.
Yo, this panel have all ages.
Step forward if you agree with the prompt. Masculinity is disappearing in America.
I think that masculinity is disappearing. I think that it's a concerted effort to emasculate men. I think that some people feel threatened by masculinity and the typical way that men carry themselves, leading families and different things like that. So I think that there's an effort to mitigate strong men in America.
There's a few different ways.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them do their thing. I don't think so, y'all. I think masculinity isn't disappearing in America. I was raised in a two-parent household. Cousins was raised in two-parent households, still is to this day. I just got family with two. My children's raising. I mean, I look in the mirror every single day and I see masculinity. My children see masculinity, so I don't think that is disappearing. Now there is an agenda to demasculate man and his masculinity, so he can that's why you have the single-parent household is in the third coming about. But overall, from my experience, from what I'm seeing on my day-to-day basis, I disagree. Or you could just change your surroundings if you're not happy with the environment that you're in.
Yeah, I feel like, in terms of the subject, press play.
Okay.
Let's press play.
Is the thing about masculinity, but just looking at kind of the definition of the term 50 years ago, you had people like John Wayne, you had Martin Luther King, you had Sean Connery. You think of like masculine features as in beards, hairy chest, big muscles, think stoic, being brave, being rugged, being a provider. Today you have, people like Harry Styles and Timothy Chalamet. You have people that are completely contrary to what we were looking at back then, and those values of those masculine characteristics are completely devalued.
I do believe that masculinity is going downhill, especially if you look at the testosterone levels. Now the testosterone levels for guys is going down compared to generations before us. So yeah, I agree. Hi, I'm Gilbert. I'm 24 years old and I'm a conservative man.
Okay, so this is my in terms of this subject. Okay, so what you said about change their environment. In our personal lives, in our day-to-day lives, we surround ourselves with strong individuals, right? Mm-hmm. Men and women. So to us, it's not going nowhere.
No, 100%.
We still here. We still thriving. We still raising the next generation of men. So
100%.
we don't see that masculinity is leaving. But in terms of positive, healthy masculinity, toxic masculinity, and then...
I mean, they have all these other traits of masculinity as well.
Right, and then people who... Trans men, I would love to understand their viewpoint on masculinity.
I can say something?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be respectful in my comments.
Yeah, 100%. And another thing, if anything, he had mentioned earlier about how they had these leaders who displayed masculinity. Right. I think they displayed leadership. Yeah. They displayed change. They displayed courage and confidence. Mm-hmm. which are character traits of becoming and being a man. But I feel with how today is, because we don't have these level of leaders, masculinity is at its strongest because people are in corners trying to gather children and show them how to be a man and mentor. We have a lot of mentors. We have a lot of people. Like, again, if you want to change your surroundings, you can always do it with your with what you're seeing and what you're watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of podcasts, there's plenty of motivational speakers, there's plenty of people that's just displaying and pouring into the community because we're living in a social media age. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's at its strongest, if anything.
Yeah, and those are like movements, leaders of movements. But on a day-to-day basis, I see strong masculine men leading their families all the time. So I don't think that it's necessarily leaving. I do know that as a society, they are, changing the categories, but
that's why I say it's at its strongest.
Yeah.
Because people are standing for what they believe in.
Right.
And they don't want to necessarily allow what other people beliefs come into their household without it becoming a problem to how they're raising their children or how they view life. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, people have their own understanding of what they want to do. Cool. But if it comes into an interference, that man is going to stand strong to what he believes in, and that's why masculinity is at its strongest. Right. Because we're living in a time where there's a lot of changes that's going on right now.
So you believe the complete opposite?
Yeah, I think it's strong.
Yeah.
I think masculinity is strong right now.
Let us know what y'all think.
Yeah.
With my beliefs and having a trans man as my friend, we don't really talk about politics. Someone being trans doesn't make me like them any less of a person. As far as pronouns, when referring to my friend, I don't really use the pronouns that my friend would want. I just say my friend, or I say their name, just because I feel like I'm giving into the narrative that men can be women and women can be men if I use the pronouns that they want.
I do see that masculinity is under attack completely, but my definition of masculinity, like you said, has a lot to do with the traits that are associated with it. As a gay man, I mean, of all of us, I'm not the most masculine man, but I do think that the good aspects of masculinity are definitely under attack, but I don't think that it's disappearing, it's just being channeled in different ways.
It depends on how you look at it, because a lot of the traits can also be embodied in women and femininity. So when we look at masculinity, I think that we have to also look at what is the actual definition of femininity and masculinity, and if we're defining masculinity by being stoic or muscles or body parts, then is it really masculinity?
A lot of times when you guys spoke about masculinity, you associate it with men being manly, but I think more women are embracing their masculinity. Masculinity is still there. I mean, just other genders are using it.
Ooh, Lord, we got a lot of points here today, y'all. Woo!
Okay, women are embracing their masculinity. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that means.
I don't know what that means at all. And that's why, like, a lot of the things, I'm a 90s babies, and I'm still stuck in the 90s with the way I think and what I listen to. We didn't
have so many titles back in the day either.
Yeah, but you gotta, again, I'm just being mindful of the audience. I can be a very assertive woman, a leader, a headstrong woman who go after what I want, vocal on what I believe in, but I'm not tapping into no masculine energy.
They confuse hard with masculinity when it comes to women. Yeah, women go through a lot.
Assertive.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to be standoffish. They don't want to be around certain people. They don't want to get looked at a certain way, so they have to display themselves a certain way. Every location they literally step into, you know what I'm saying? They can't be the most feminine in every location because then they would be vulnerable to people that's just want to have the ways they want with a woman. So I think he confuses a woman being hard with masculinity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, masculinity has its own characteristics that being hard just, I think being hard is like for a woman, it's like just being closed.
Right. And I do understand, like, I'm a person, I grew up in the hood. I grew up in the projects, but with masculine energy, I'm not tapping into no masculine energy. I got a man.
Right.
And even if I did have a man, like, I'm a woman. I don't know. He threw me off.
A woman has a natural nurturing thing about her. That's her nature.
Not all.
They all have it. They got
regardless. Some bad mothers out here.
No, I understand they got some bad ones, but at the end of the day, it's it's something. It's like y'all born with that seed in you to be feminine. Y'all born with that energy to be loving. Y'all born with that energy to
But
be
not
caring.
all.
Not all, but at the same time, it's there. You just gotta tap
I
into it.
understand
Some
what you're
environments don't allow you to grow into that level, but in her mind, she's like, I want to. But her results that was given to her is like, I can't. I have to be this because 9 times out of 10, my surroundings isn't allowing me to do that, and I can't get out of that. So I gotta be this.
And that's what I was saying about growing up in the projects and growing up in the hood, because you find yourself around a lot of events where you would have to be very assertive and very quick, like a quick thinker, and you can easily become hard, like, as a woman. But even though I was put in those situations, I was just tapping into a headstrong woman.
That's
like
that's basically like a sister growing up around boys. She's gonna be hard.
right.
She won't be masculine, but she's gonna be able to run with the boys, and the boys are gonna be able to. She's still gonna have all her traits about herself that requires her to be feminine. That's basically what I'm saying. Same thing with masculinity. There's men. All men have these masculine traits. It's just with the environment we live in now, some know to ignore it because they choose not to be that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Very. Hope we make a little sense to everybody today, because this
Courageous,
is
being
gonna be a lot of
powerful,
different
more women
points.
are standing in their power, which is again associated with masculine, but it's not specific to just men. Women are no longer submissive, they're dominant. Women don't need men, and I think that most of America is realizing that anyone can be powerful on their own.
I believe that the masculine traits are inherently in men, and men have to take a position. You made a really good point by saying women are now becoming more masculine. They feel as if they don't need men, which I think is the problem here. I think that the way we've been designed by God, in my opinion, is that men are to lead, men are to be strong, men are to be brave. Men have to take their rightful position. The way our country has been structured to this point have been because of strong men who have taken a stand, who have fought wars. Now I feel like it's getting so lopsided that our families are degrading. People don't know where they're at in this country.
Now in 2022, masculinity is being redefined. And I think what happens is people get upset when things start to change. No, I think that nobody ever wants to take that away from men. I think that what we want to do in the world now is start to understand what is masculinity. And it's always been really associated with this very machismo space. And now there's different kinds of men in the world. There's not just biological men. There's also trans men or people who want to be masculine. So I think what's happening now is people are pushing against change because change is scary and people don't understand. And so I think men, biological men, feel under attack when I think that's not what's happening here.
The point that you made is 100% correct. There are different phases and people are experiencing in different ways. The feminist movement is, I think they are attacking masculinity within men. I don't want a man to open the door for me. I don't need a man in my life. I can do all of these different things. What they're doing is attacking men, and that's what's causing the problem.
What part of the feminist group feels like it's attacking? Because I know that most feminism is like wanting equal pay or...
Well, you just said that women not needing men is somehow empowering. You know, having a man is somehow less empowering, or being an individual is somehow less empowering.
But that's how women feel.
Right.
Women actually are saying that because that's how they feel. It's
But
as if,
that's not how every woman feels.
but no one's
that's just
saying
an
every woman.
assumption
They're only
of how
women speak for themselves. So
Right.
all of you are going to have different opinions as biological men.
Absolutely.
Women all have different opinions. Oh, you see a very specific group of women saying this.
I mean, you did just say that's how women feel. So are you speaking on behalf of all women?
No, I'm not. Let me take that back. The women who are saying that feel that way.
Why do you feel that women in general feel disempowered?
I don't think in general. No. That's a generalized statement. You can't say that. I said
you're the
women.
one
No, I
who
did
said
not. I
women
said the
feel
women who
disempowered.
say that.
You associated somehow women are now embracing masculinity, which means that they are now more empowered.
Let me just go ahead and say this. There's going to be a lot of different points to tap into. Too many. I think women in general wants a man. Period. They want a man. It's just that how society is, bro, like we have really came into a new age where so many voices are being heard and from so many different perspectives. And especially if you have a platform that's big, people take heed to that and they take your advice and they try to understand where am I with how this world is operating. So when it comes to masculinity and a woman, some men use their masculinity over women, so she don't want to necessarily be in a position where it's like, I can't do this anymore, or I can't go out, I can't go shop, I can't do what I like to do without him having to say I can't do it all the time. In an instance, so they distance themselves from a man, and they don't want to be underneath a man because they feel like, I don't need to be told by a man 24/7 my do's and my don'ts. So that's kind of a piece to throw in a little conversation of kind of why women can be on the age of becoming more hard. I'm not gonna say masculinity. They becoming a little hard towards a man's touch because they can say, I could do without that, because I feel, and I've heard and I'm seeing people say on podcasts that you only want one thing, you only want to control, you only want to do this, when the money is very liquid right now. I can get it myself. I can do a lot myself. Like,
okay, so I'm gonna take the stance as I feel like, before I take my stance, I feel like that is because maybe they have not been in a relationship or exposed to relationships with healthy couples.
starts at home.
It does start at home.
The father supposed to love on that baby girl correctly, to where she can say, you know what, I know what I want in a man, and I have to lean her ear to the world to see what man is looking for in women, so she can try to be that. And I feel that's where they start to fumble. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna wait before I stick my stance, because they will either see healthy masculinity or toxic masculinity.
They know what to dodge, yeah.
And as a woman, as a strong woman, and I don't subject strong with meaning having gone through things, strong as in my life experiences and what has brought me to be who I am today. I'm a strong woman who is in a healthy relationship with a healthy masculine man. I'm a woman who's very vocal. I'm a woman who can immerse myself in my femininity, but still my husband supports me in the space of being able to be vocal on things I have an opinion about, and especially being people with a platform. I don't want to be masculine. That's it. I don't want to be masculine.
And I don't want her to be hard. You feel me? I don't want to have to go to my wife and then I can't get that loving touch from a woman because she is too tense with life. Well, that's what, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a submissive woman, but in having a healthy marriage, we're submissive to each other.
Yeah, and it allows you to be who you are and me to be who I am.
Yeah. So I don't know. This hard.
Yeah, this
I
about
didn't think
to get,
they would even bring up women like this, but
yeah, I didn't see that curve coming either. I thought they was going to basically talk. I thought they was going to dive into the character traits of a man and masculinity and what builds a man to be masculine. And is this what they're attacking when it comes to the masculine world? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I thought that's what the way it was going to go with, but
regardless of what a woman decides to do in society, not in a relationship, but in society, that does not diminish masculinity. It don't.
I could go crazy with that one. I know exactly where that can go, but
because they don't need a man. Or
right. When men feel empowered when women need
But
them.
I don't think that women's empowerment comes from having a man or not having a man. So why is it always associated that a woman's now empowered because she doesn't need a man? A woman has always been empowered. Women have never been.
But they've never felt that.
That's not true.
I mean, if we go back to the 1920s, if you're going to do that, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about society right now.
Right now, you actually think women are empowered right now?
Absolutely, women are empowered.
Who's the vice president? And how long did it take for her to become a vice president?
There is a right and wrong way to be a man. Take a second to think about it.
I think that when I originally heard the question being asked, I didn't agree with it, but men are not abusive individuals. Men are not to
See?
be cowards.
Yes. Okay.
You have
Okay.
to pick a side with what you know, not with what the question actually is literally asking. Is there a right way or wrong way to be a man? What I know to be a man and what I know not to do as a man goes with the question. But then other people probably sitting there thinking like, you know what I'm saying? They got their own perspective of what they want to know about themselves when it comes to being a man. So you got to go with what you know. And I feel like how he's addressing it, yeah, a man shouldn't be a coward. A man should be a leader. He should be a protector. He should be.
He shouldn't be abusive.
You know what I'm saying? He should be abusive.
Yeah.
So that way, okay, do your thing, brother. Do your thing.
Men are to lead their families. And men who do not display that, I don't believe that they are men, in my opinion. And all of the qualities that I see in my father is what I believe a man should be.
All of those characteristics are what make a man. And when I see a man be a coward in the truth, in just speaking the truth, or sticking up for what's right, especially today in America with everything going on, I'm like, those are not men. My name is Clarkson. I'm 24 years old, and I'm a conservative man. My biggest question for the other side really is, are you happy? Anybody that wants to fundamentally change society and change gender roles, to me, that's not happiness. And if we want to fight for acceptance, we need to start with acceptance, which is accepting society for what it is.
At the end of the day, we're all men, and I don't believe there's any wrong way to be a man. We're just redefining what it means to be a man.
But there are things that naturally come to men. So when you say we're just redefining what being a man is, you have to understand you're redefining a fabric in society that has kept the human race and got it to where it is today. So just like aimlessly throwing out, oh, well, we're just redefining what it is to be a man. That's not just like a light subject that we should be talking about.
But why do you think it has to stay the same? Why do we need to have the same thing for hundreds and hundreds of years?
Do you not see the state
It's not the same thing. It's just it's keeping the same qualities.
But do you see the state of our world today? It's not perfect. And it's been led by men like throughout all of history, and look where it's gone.
So we're talking about redesigning what it means to be a man. So what do you want to bring to traditional men?
I think it's embracing that you can be vulnerable. I think that a lot of men want to portray strength, but
let him
men are people, and I know that men have feelings.
Being a man and masculinity, those are two different things. And I believe that we can redefine whatever that means to anybody by including other types of men or other types of masculinity. I myself am a father. I have a child. Some people would disagree with me being a father because I am transgender. But that being said, I present to the world as a male. My child sees me as a man.
There's proper ways to be vulnerable, right? You don't have to break down in front of your family and cry. It's okay to suffer silence as well. Strong men, I believe, exude the qualities that you guys are referring to. I think the problem is overcorrection, right? Some people believe that men need to cry and lay on the ground and be feminine like women. My name is Brandon.
Hold on, Brandon. Okay, so men being vulnerable.
It's not redefining a man.
I have a strong man, my husband, and I have a strong father. And I've seen both of them be vulnerable, and I still saw them as men.
And you know who we thank for that? Our mothers. Because if it wasn't for mommy's love at the very beginning, who said it's okay if you want to express yourself, we wouldn't have known in the midst of being in a relation with a woman, my wife, to also give her that same energy in return. Now, again, I feel like when you want to get into this question, there's always levels that you really got to acknowledge. Right. You don't want to just go right into it and say there's a whole redefining of man because of 100 years, something that someone else did. You know what I'm saying? It's like who you are as an individual at the end of the day, and how do you redefine, or not redefine, how do you see yourself as a man to your woman? You know what I'm saying? And is she acknowledging that part of you? You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. And as a mother of boys, I have not just myself, but their dad, their masculine dad. We teach them healthy ways of expressing themselves
100%.
and being vulnerable in situations they need to be vulnerable in. But in raising boys to be men, we raise them in healthy ways. Redefining what it is to be a man in society. That's a tough one for me as a parent of boys.
If it's coming out to add more stepping stones for a gentleman to be more of a gentleman, I understand. If it adds a stepping stone to be more of a man, I understand. More on how to love a woman correctly, I understand. Because that's always a way that you could do things that is embracive by people. But if it's in a sense of, well, I don't know, like if it's in a sense of things that can allow confusion, then that's what you're going to end up getting in return, confusion. And people going to be like, I don't understand. Can you help me understand why you are implementing this type of behavior to a woman or to other men? Like, can we get a up to speed, up to date thing about it? This is going to be a little challenging because you got all these perspectives. But at the end of the day, I still think that when you have a principle-based mindset and you have morals and you've been brought up by, good parents and you have a history of things, then you can always look at life in a way that can help other people understand too. Yeah.
Right. This is my only issue. I support people being whatever they want to be, however they want to live their life, if that makes them happy. I support happiness and peace. So as someone who knows someone who is a trans woman and personally seeing the battle that it took for those decisions to be made, I support people being happy and at peace with themselves. What I don't support is when people try, just because they made the change, they want everybody else around them to make the change. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
if my house is built on bricks, don't come knocking at my door telling me that
now it's built in stone or something.
Yeah, try stone.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to.
So my thing is redefining what a man and a woman is in terms of whatever we are. Like, I think they're calling biological women cis women now.
I guess that's
now
the
that
terms.
is what I have a problem with.
Again, that's we got so many titles these days.
The titles.
The internet will put something out. It will be a title, and people will run with it. And I'll be like, "Oh, we got a new word."
Right. So again, I support happiness and peace. I just don't support when I have to change.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. And I had conversations with everybody. Literally, I've been there. I talked to a lot of people before, and I've never came to a point of judgment because of their decision. It's always you done all right today? Kept it pushing, you know what I mean? And I mean, even from my work days, like I've came across people that way, and I've always been respectful about it. And then some people will come to me and be like, bro, and they'll hit shit, hush, and I'll be like, it's not even all that, bro. Like, because people will be judgmental behind the idea of what they're doing, thinking that other people don't know. Mm-hmm. And they think that, that was supposed to be a secret or something. I was like, no, they're very comfortable. They're cool. Like, did you introduce yourself at least?
And I remember, like, when it happened, when the change happened, people who supported the person, I don't care what happened, I care about the person. People felt negative about people who supported the person. That's where it gets like...
Yeah, because everybody has their own standards on how things should be operated.
Right, because...
Hey, I respect it.
Right.
I ain't mad at nobody. Right. I'm not tripping about nobody getting busy jiggy.
Right.
That's the movement. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to just chill. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm 34 years old, and I'm a conservative man. I had a lot of curiosities about what it's like to be a person who believes that they're a trans man. You know, I feel like God has created all of us very uniquely, and although I have beliefs and I follow the Bible to the T, I still want to know from other people of what their experiences are. Doesn't mean I have to agree, but I really want to know what other people are feeling from the person who's experiencing it real time.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that is why people were negative, because, Sierra, you're a Christian. How can you support a person who went through that? I'm a Christian, but I also know in the Bible it says not to judge the person. take the beam out of your own eye.
I have male privilege.
They got male privilege?
Oh, sit over
I am confused. What's
I
male
live
privilege?
both lives, and I
Again,
can tell you
listen.
firsthand that
Listen, again, look, it's the titles for me, bro. We're living in a time where titles are being pushed out into the communities, right? And people hear it and they get with it. And I'm like,
And
I don't be
that's-
with the wave.
yeah,
I don't be with the wave. I don't be knowing half these terms that they be using. Like
Me
male
neither.
privilege has never crossed a conversation I ever been in since I've been on Earth. So I don't know exactly. Now, from
Before
common
women rights, yeah, but we didn't live that.
now from common sense, you can easily piece together what male privilege can look like.
Right.
But I never had a time to sit back and say, man, I want male privilege. Like, I don't know.
Oh, wait, I know when you have male privilege.
Oh, Lord.
When you go to the mechanic and he not giving you these extra fees and, oh, this is wrong with your car because you know what you know about cars.
Is
That's the
that
only
is that
time,
male
though.
privilege, though?
That's the only
Privilege.
time.
Privilege?
I don't know.
Privilege.
Let's see. They got male privilege. Let's see.